What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of The Tea with KG. I'm your host, Kaylee Grace, and I have another amazing guest joining me today. We have Noël Strane coming from Mexico.
Love it. Thank you for having me, Kaylee. You're awesome. Hello, T viewers.
Yes, yes. I'm so excited to have you. So, Noel and I connected, my God, I think it was 2 years ago now. And I was on his podcast actually. And it was a super cool conversation. He's such a great human. So, I was like, I need to have him on mine because, like, doing my own podcast was just a thought in my brain at the time that him and I connected. And once I was on his, I was like, okay, this feels good. This feels right. It gave me like that confirmation to just go for it. Don't be afraid and just do it. And here we are 2 years later.
I love it. If I can do a podcast, anyone can because it's the most unscripted. Just let's just talk about whatever comes up.
Yes. And it's so good. And I love how it's just so natural. That's how we get like our most authentic truth. It's just having an actual genuine conversation with people. And it's so good. And it just brings me so much joy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Today will be
Yeah.
fun. I just want to tell you, Kaylee, I appreciate the light that you share with the world and that you're shining for your audience. And please continue, shine more.
Thank you. So, Noel is the founder of Universal Abundance. We're definitely going to talk about that a little bit later in our episode. And he's just an awesome human. So, if you're looking for a really cool Instagram that's all about abundance and manifesting, go check him out. So, we're going to get started. We'll get the who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Noel. The angel of abundance is how I'm listed on all the social medias, and that was a name that my community gave to me years ago. And I just really love to have fun and enjoy life. Like I really, it's been like such a long journey as all of us have had with ups and downs, highs and lows. And really, I've kind of learned that tomorrow's not promised to any of us. And if I have the opportunity to choose something that sounds like a really great time, like a raise in my energy, I'm gonna choose that. It's an easy choice. I like to say I'm a very easy yes. So when Kaylee reached out to me, I was like, yes, I knew it would be a good time. I know her vibe is awesome, and if this can make an impact on anybody's life out there, one thing that we share that can uplift you, maybe have a light bulb moment, then it's all worth it, right? Either way, it's going to be fun.
Yes, you do. Like choose fun. I love that you said too that it's not necessarily always easy. Like, there's ebbs and flows in life as always, but it's nice that you choose to see the light in life.
Absolutely, and it's exactly that. It's a choice for sure, and really, it's the awareness of it. Like I don't, I'm human, so we all spend time in all the different energies that we label with words. Happy, sad, depressed, angry, any of these things, but the awareness of it gives us the power to choose. So if I am aware that I'm spending time and energy that doesn't feel so great, I could beat myself up for it, because you should be this, and then you feel worse. Or I could just be mindful of it, observe it, and allow it to flow through me and do some of the things that I know to do to return back to peace. And that's always my choice. Like if nothing else, what you'll hear from me throughout this whole conversation and any time that we're interacting is what's most important to me beyond anything else is my energy, my vibration, frequency. It's all synonyms. And peace is baseline for me. So I'm very aware whether I'm in peace or we all love when the momentum kicks in and we're at heightened versions of, excitement and joy and passion and love and bliss. And we all love those energies. But for me, baseline and what I'm just mindful of is, am I at peace right now? Meaning,
Mm.
do I have to change anything in order to just be where I am right now? And if I don't have to change anything, I don't need something to change in order to feel decent, feel good, then what that leaves me with is peace. So that's most important to me.
Oh, I love that. I think that's super important because, as people, like you said, with those higher, like, excitement and fun and like those things, those are great to feel, but like it's not like, you can't feel those things constantly. But peace, I think, is something that is such a good baseline because ultimately, all the goodness in our life really does come from peace and having that inner knowing within. So I think that's amazing. I love that. I'm going to write that down. What's my baseline? Peace.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll give an example. Like this water here, if you're watching the video version, like if it was just sitting on the table, like it doesn't have to. If I'm not stirring it and shaking it, like it's just. If I'm not doing anything to add resistance to it, it's just going to just be chill. And then it's us when we start to shake it and move it and stir it, and like that's when we're the one causing the waves can increase or decrease. And really, if we just release and just let it sit on the table, then it's gonna just be at peace. Try to show you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love that. I was curious, like you said, like we're all human, we go through the different emotions. How do you bring yourself back to your peace baseline? Like, are there certain practices that you have in place?
Yeah. So really, it's just the overall practice of that energy and as humans, we do our best to label energy, label frequencies with words. But really, we're just anytime we use words, we're just describing energy, like what it is that
Yes.
we feel. And so when peace became most important to me, which was really my journey, like when I became how important it was, we're talking about almost 8 years ago. But it took me many years to practice and to where my body just started. That became the state that my body was used to being in. And so as you practice, if it matters to you, you'll practice anything. And if you practice
Yeah.
anything, you'll just become better and better and better at it. And so it's easier today than it was 5 years ago to just decide that I'm going to allow myself to be at peace. But practical for anybody that's wanting to start practicing is, if you're not in peace in any given now moment, whatever it is that you're focusing on, and it's not the thing, but it's how you're focusing on it, whatever story you're
Mm.
telling about it, like it's if you are focusing on anything and the results of how you're focusing on that doesn't feel peaceful, really your options and the way that I look at it for me, and I invite everybody to try this, is not to try to like keep like trying to figure it out and like I got to change this, I got to figure this out right now. Like you don't really get the solutions to problems from the same energy that caused the problem to begin with, so the challenge to
Mhm.
begin with. So for me, I prefer to just release that for now. Like we'll come back to it, because if it's something important in our life, like you're not going to just like ignore it forever. But I don't necessarily have to figure it out right this second, like unless it's life or death. And if it's life or death, then
Right.
your natural instincts will kick in anyways, and you'll do what you need to do. But almost every scenario is not like I have to figure this out right this second. So can we just put it down for just a moment and then focus on any other subject on earth that feels more peaceful than this? Like it could be
Mhm.
anything. You could look at your pets or your kids or a funny YouTube video, or take some deep breaths, or drink something of water, or eat some food, or go for a walk. Like focus on anything else other than that. And then what's going to happen is you'll return to peace, because the only reason that you weren't in peace, the water example, is because you're stirring it up. Like you're focusing
Yes.
on that thing, and that's the resistance that you're causing. And if you continue to keep going in that direction, momentum will build, and you'll feel worse and worse and worse. So
Oh
that's
my
your
god,
choice as well.
yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if you just allow yourself to return back to peace, then what happens is you'll get a, a download, an idea. You'll get some clarity on that thing that you're not even thinking about
Mm.
right now. Like you're thinking about something totally different, and then all of a sudden you get some clarity on that thing that was causing you so much drama. And now you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's what I can do for this. And now you return to that subject, but you return with your new energy of peace and excitement and
Yes.
like ready to, and really the best advice I can give on how to just, you're gonna get the solution. If you ask any question, like you'll receive the answer, but trying to like force it and get the answer right now, it's probably it's gonna be difficult. That's a difficult road.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. You're like speaking to my soul right now. I feel like there's a reason we're recording today because even myself, I feel like, I do the mindset work, do a lot of things, but again, I'm very sensitive. So there are times where even myself, I'll get caught in like exactly what you just said, like in that obsessive loop, or I like can't leave something alone that's bugging me or whatever. And it's always so true when you take that time away from the problem to do whatever it is that centers you, grounds you, nature, exercise, whatever. It always helps. It always gives you clarity. And like I find for me, a lot of times I'll go out for a walk with my dog or something. And my mind just has time to settle, and I'm in nature, which is very huge for me. I have to be by nature. I'm not a settled human. And it's so true what you're saying, but you're literally like making light bulbs go off in my brain right now. So thank you for sharing that because I'm so sensitive as well to all the energies, and sometimes it's just too much. And I'm like, girl, you need to take a step back. And like, I'm going to remember that so hard, baseline to peace. I'm going to like say that as a mantra now.
Love it. Just everybody out there, be easy on yourself, because you can always celebrate new awareness, or just maybe this awareness you've had before, but it's just because my life experience is different. All of our life experience is different. The way that I'm sharing, the stories that I'm telling it in, like the way that I'm describing it might cause some light bulbs to go off or connect some dots. So like really celebrate any new awareness that we have, or as our awareness is evolving, and just know that it's a forever thing. Like none of us are ever going to have it all figured out, and that's what
Yeah.
makes life fun and an adventure. Is always going to be some new awareness. Our consciousness is always expanding, and that awareness is to be celebrated because now we have additional choices. Without awareness, like you really can't consciously choose to do anything. So I'm aware that there's a fork in the road. I can go left or I can go right. Now, what am I going to choose? Like that's up to us. And
Yes.
then the more that we choose what is in alignment with everything that we want for our lives, and practice that, then you start to get really really good, and then that becomes your new normal. Like the way to make any frequency your baseline is just care enough about it to be aware of, am I in this now moment there or not, because it can only be in the now moment. Like nobody is permanently peace or permanently happy or permanently sad. Like even someone that might consider themselves to be the most depressed human on earth, they have moments where they are laughing at something. They have funny
Yeah.
something, like to where they're, and even if it's not a very sustained period of time, nobody is permanently anything. So just be easy on
Yeah.
yourself and take that awareness and practice whatever is important to you.
Absolutely. And like that's I think really important. Obviously, like yeah, compassion and grace for yourself and practice. Like I think sometimes too as people we're so quick to give up like when it comes to mind stuff. Like if you go to the gym, well you should most people should know you're not going to get those muscles instant. It takes work, it takes consistency, and it takes practice. And I say this all the time on this podcast, our brain and our spirit, like it's the same thing. You have to work at it because if you're used to one train of thought all the time, it's not going to be an overnight fix that you're automatically going to do this. It takes work. It takes life throwing you those curveballs, those challenges to put it into practice and put it into play and be like, okay, let's do this. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing this direction. I'm not going to allow the low frequencies of this world to consume my body because it's just that's what the frequencies that are lower want. They want to suck your energy out, and you don't need to do that. If we maintain our high vibrations, which, like, ebbs and flows of life, but if you're consistently trying to get to that baseline, that's just amazing.
Let me share something for everybody out there, and it'll like really humanize me. And because I don't consider myself to where, like, I'm 39 right now. I'll be 40 in October, which blows my mind.
Ooh, 40.
I know. And I read my first book, like spiritual book, Law of Attraction book. A mentor shared with me at 26. So it's been a 14-year journey now. And I joke with myself, like I was a really slow learner, because it took me like from 26 to 32 to really grasp like just that energy was important. Like I was trying to use all the tactics and techniques of law of attraction and things that I learned, but doing it through really hard on myself, hard on others. Like my energy, like mostly was I'll be happy when, where
Yes.
all of
Oh
my
my God.
all of my
Yeah.
yes, all my happiness was being projected into this not real future that doesn't exist because it's only the now
Yeah.
moment. And so it took me
Exactly.
that point to get to the point where I finally started my meditation journey and added that to my morning routine. And what's interesting, that started at 32, but for the first like few months of like meditation, like I was doing guided meditations, and I would feel like really good after the guided meditation, like peace, just whatever energy we would describe it as. And I would notice that would last for like maybe like hour, maybe, and then
Yeah.
I'd be back to like what my body was used to, like vibrating
Yeah.
an energy of being really hard on myself. I'll be happy when, and then these awareness started kicking in. I was like, okay, I know there's a meditation practice. And so after like 3 months, I was like, wow, I'm starting to like, there's some days where I can make it to like lunchtime, the full morning, and I'm still in this like really peaceful energy. And then after like 6 months, I'm like, there's some days where I'm getting close to the end of the day, like, and until I get like tired, like I'm vibrating pretty good. And then by the time I've been practicing for a year, like I was stringing together like multiple days where I'm like, wow, I don't even remember the last time where I've been out of peace for a significant period of time. Like and so you do that for years, like your body just gets used to that, to where if I spend a significant, like the time is just shorter and shorter now outside of peace because it's so easy to get
Yeah.
back to it. And that's my
Mm.
encouragement for everybody is start where you are. That's the only place that you can start from. And if it
Yes.
matters to you, you'll practice. Like that's literally it's if as you as a human being, if and when we get to the point where what matters, because if you ask most people the question, what matters to you most of us, and me before, 30, 32 period that I'm describing, would have responded with something outside of me, like success
Yes.
or this relationship or whatever. Like that's what we don't realize is as within, so without. So if and when our energy becomes most important to us, like more than anything, like that's first, second, and third most important to me. As a result, automatically you have awesome relationships because that's what manifests. And then you have awesome business and awesome health. And I mean, your health is such a reflection of what's going on your inside. So you
Yes.
see outside physical, you see physical symptoms, like that's already is just showing you, okay, your energy has been this, and then now it's manifesting into this. Great news is we can be aware of that and start choosing to we can choose peace in this moment and choose peace in this moment, and the body's going to respond to that. And then
Yes.
what does it feel like health wise when you're at peace? What would you describe like a peaceful body? Well, you feel good, like you're not.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, just practice is my advice. If it matters to you, you will. Like you don't have to tell somebody. You got to practice. Like if you want to get better, then you'll practice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 100%. And like that consistency, like you're living proof that consistency in your practice, because it is important to you. It does work. Like I love when I hear these stories from people because it's just putting, like you said, it's humanizing the experience and showing that it is possible. And it's not, I think too, we live in a world sometimes that we always want the instant result, the instant gratification. And it's like the things that are so good in life, they do take that time. And everyone's different too. Some people might adapt quicker to a meditative lifestyle than others, but that's okay. Like you can't compare your journey because that's another thing I find our world does too much. We compare so much, and it brings it back to what you said. It's not outside that you're going to get that validation or that whatever you're looking for. It has to come from within. And when you get into that meditative state, you really do connect with you and your soul, and it's like it's hard to explain to someone maybe who doesn't do it, but like I have my brain moves all the time. It's really quick. So for someone like me, it's challenging to get to that state. But if I could get there, anyone could get there. Like I found too, a thing that helped me was integrating movement into it, like yoga, for instance. Super good for me because I'm focused on what my body's doing, but I literally feel like I'm on drugs when I'm done because I am in such a deep meditation. I'm like, what just happened there? And it's such that peace, like that peace you're talking about. That's what I feel when I'm done a good yoga session. And it just, so if you do find your brain has a hard time, like maybe integrate a movement into it and it might help you center yourself a bit.
Absolutely. I was the person that would have told you I can't meditate. Like I'm not a meditator, prior to 32. But I mean, at that point in my life, I was just like ready for something to shift. And it just
Mm,
wasn't like it felt like for that 26 years old to 32-year-old period, it felt like I had all the answers to the test, but I was still failing. Like
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
really challenging feeling where it's like, damn, I know that I know how to do this, but I can't consistently do it. And
Yeah.
that was what unlocked it for me was, starting to first thing in the morning, like before doing anything, like just putting myself in an energy that, felt good. And even if like what Kaylee described, like even if I was meditating for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was, and only the last like 1 minute of it, I was really in that like meditative feeling, that was what I was going for. Like I didn't, like even
Yeah.
if my brain was all over the place for the first 19 minutes, and that last 1 minute, it was like, like that was it. That's all I wanted. So I
Yeah.
could feel that energy and then go about my day from there.
I love that. Oh my God. I feel like people need to hang on to what you just said there because a lot of times, like, I'm guilty of that too. Like if you didn't do it right, I say that in quotations, the whole time, did you even do it? But yes, you did. If you can get even 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds where you're in that state, you're winning. It's working. Just keep going. I love that you said that. I don't feel like I've ever heard someone put it like that. So I really hope people take that from this discussion right now because that for someone like me who is hard on themselves, that is so key. And I think a lot of people listening could relate to that.
Yeah, that's really when my meditation stops is when I feel that energy, and I'll sit there for as long as I can because a lot of times I'll receive really cool like downloads and
Mm,
insights and answers to
yeah.
questions that I've had from that space, but not always. And but if I've felt it, and even if the meditation has been 5 minutes, like I might decide that that's good. And then there's other elements of my morning routine that I do after that. But that's
Yeah.
not every day, and I don't beat myself up on days where I don't meditate. To be honest, some days I wake up, and especially I notice this if I've had like a later night the night before, and hopefully I was up enjoying life, whatever. But if I'm waking up and I've already I'm just it's kind of like I'm carrying over like the good energy from the night before, ideally. And I know if I try to meditate, I might just fall asleep because my body might just
Yeah.
say, okay, we're gonna take this sleep. So I skip it for that day, and I give myself permission to do that. I don't beat myself up. Like so, I'm not super like have to do this or else you failed. Like it just
Yeah.
flowing with life. But I won't miss like if I miss 2 days in a row, like that third day for sure. Like I'm doing it because I do
Come
notice a
back.
difference in my energy if I just decide I'm not gonna meditate anymore. Like I'm not going there.
Yeah. It's so true. I feel the same way. Like when I get out of doing the practices that I know I need for my highest good, it might not be a right away thing, but I notice it. I'm like, ah, crap. I'm like, I haven't been honoring my spirit, and my spirit is screaming at me, get back to your routine, girl.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
You
It's good
mentioned
stuff so far.
other things in your morning routine that you do. What are those other things you do?
Yeah. So after meditation, I go into what I call like celebration, which have a playlist, and it's shifted over the years, but there's like 4 songs on it. And lately, like there's a song that came into, and it might not resonate with uh, everyone, but I have an organized religion church background where I grew up in those churches where you see in the movies where like it's the black church and like the singing, and it's just like it's like a party. Like that was like an element of how I grew up, which was really for me it was like the most fun part of the
Yeah.
church. Like I wasn't singing, but I was just like there were some really good performers and singers, and they were into it. So but there's a song that is called Thank You, and is 10 minutes long, and literally I'll sing along to this song, and the energy takes like it's like levels to this. And a lot of times I
Yeah.
listen to the last 5 minutes, but the where this takes my frequency, and imagine like just a gratitude song. Like at one part, it's like you're proclaiming to God, universe, all that is, source, spirit, infinite intelligence, whatever you relate to. But I
Yeah.
love this line. It's just like, thank you. Like I don't want anything from you. Just thank you. Like that level of
Yes.
gratitude, where it's just like just to be able to be grateful for what is, and knowing more is coming, but just really just grateful now. Like I'll literally go in this 5 minutes and probably say thank you like 500 times. Like it's just like so I'm in
You're
this like
making me
super
emotional. This is so good.
yeah. This song changed my life. And you can see the moment it happened. If you go to my Instagram stories, there's a highlight called Grateful. And the
I'm
first,
gonna look
I
at
like, I
it.
started this highlight at the moment that this song was playing when I was out at a party here in Playa, and these like live performers like finished their like the party with just this thank you song. I was like, what is this?
Wow.
And it took my energy so far up, and I Shazammed it, and it's been a part of
Yeah.
my morning routine ever since. And it's like I've
Wow.
seen some of the coolest synchronicities showing up in my life. This is in the past 2 months since I integrated this. Um,
Wow.
so highly recommend. So that celebration part, and then I do some stretching and some exercises that are important to my body, like full body. And then I have, while I'm stretching, I have like a slideshow playing. I have thousands of images in my phone, so I'm listening to other music that's like really feels good on my vibe. And then I have like a
Yeah.
slideshow of like any image that I've seen in the past like 10 years, I've screenshot and put it into like a folder called Bliss. And it's just like places that I want to go, like things I want,
Yeah.
like just all the beautiful things that just I want to experience. Um, like they're in this slideshow, and people
I
like that I want to
love
meet, and
that.
like all of these things. Yeah. So
What?
I've
Okay,
even
so
gone
do
as
you
far.
just
I've even gone as far of photoshopping my head on, like literally, if you're standing next to a car that I'm excited to experience, your head is not there anymore. My head is over
God,
your head with a big smile, and yeah. So
that's
this
amazing.
is pretty good.
That's legit how you manifest. Take Photoshop your head onto the
For
body.
sure.
I love that. Oh my God. I love that so much. Yeah, my brain is buzzing right now. When you say you do a slideshow, is it on your phone? Because like
Mhm.
that speaks to me. I'm like, how do I do that?
Yep. Absolutely. Just literally screenshot and then add to album, and it just like there's
Sweet.
thousands of images on there. Like I
Oh
don't
my
get through the
God.
whole.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll just like shuffle. I'll just scroll, and then I'll just stop, and then I'll just start the slideshow from there. Because that part of my morning routine, like the stretching and all that stuff, is at least 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So yeah, but that
I love
at that
that.
point, I'm just feeling really good, and like I just see how much I can stay in that energy or even allow that energy to increase as the day goes. But like you start your
Yeah.
day with whatever feels good to you, and but you care about starting your day with that energy that feels good. You have some
Mm.
awesome days for sure.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that because like I'm very musical. Like music takes me to a different level. It's such an emotional thing, music. So I love, love, love that. And I'm super visual. And my God, the screenshots in my phone, I have like 30,000 pictures in my phone. It's ridiculous. Like I need to clean it out, but most of them are screenshots. So you have just given me you're giving me all the light bulbs today, Noelle. I want to make a slideshow because I think it would just bring you joy and peace, seeing things that make you happy or things you want to manifest or whatever. I love that so much. And
For,
stretching the body.
for,
Is
for
that the
anybody that's
song?
on
Yeah,
Kaylee's
yeah.
video, this is the song that literally changed my life. Like super. It looks
Sweet.
like it's coming on backwards, but and it's 10 minutes. I normally I go to the 5 minute mark, and it may or may not resonate with your energy, but
I
find
like
music that
it.
resonates with yours.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to check that out. I love that. That's amazing. And I love too that you said the synchronicities that you've been seeing since integrating this in. And like, oh my God, the synchronicities I see all day, every day. I feel so grateful when I see them. And you know how, sometimes people say, oh, 1111, make a wish. I'm like, I don't make a wish. I literally just express my gratitude. Or I'm like, what am I thinking about? What was I just doing? Because those are all like confirmations from the universe. Like, I'm big with numbers, number sequences I see constantly, but also like, butterflies, dragonflies, feathers, those types of things. What type of like synchronicities have you been seeing since you've integrated this in?
So my two favorite types of synchronicities are really awesome ideas from
Mhm.
questions that I've asked the universe, and then answers that have come. And then my probably overall favorite, or maybe it's 1A, 1B, would be people, like human
Yeah.
connection, like people that like I love like going out into the world and not knowing that someone exists on Earth, and then all of a sudden connecting with them because we both chose to be at this place at this time in this country and all of these things, like so many
Yeah.
things when you start to really discover everything that had to happen in order for you to meet one of these 8 billion beautiful souls on the planet.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty awesome. Like it's just I think we can all kind of know that we're not going to meet all 8 billion while we're here. It's just very
Yeah.
unlikely. Uh, but so really just really appreciating the ones that we do meet. And I always get really curious as far as why people are showing up in
Yes.
my life. But yeah, those two things, like really awesome, and it just all responding to our energy. Like I've never heard someone say that they left the house in just like the most terrible mood, and they were like being mean to people, and then they just met all these awesome people during the day and had the
Yeah.
most amazing day. Like I've never heard this story. Like you get to choose. Like
Yeah.
you're creating the movie of your life, and in this scene, like any movie that we've seen, in the scene where the character goes out and they're like angry and like starting fights and arguments, like it's a really rough scene. Like it's just so we get to
Yeah.
choose like what that looks like. But yeah, those two things, good
Mhm.
ideas and people. I love people.
And all the people that you have in your community and that you've had on your podcast. Like, it's incredible the amount of cool people that you have integrated into your energy field. And it's amazing too, because they're literally from all over the world. Like, look, I'm in Canada. We met you in Miami, but you're in Mexico now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are the chances? And I really do believe that the universe puts those people in our path for a reason. Like, there's always a reason that you meet the people that you meet and your souls connect. And I just love too when you feel that soul connection with people. It's like you just know, you just feel it. It's just very easy and natural, and it's great. And I thank the universe every day for the beautiful souls in my life.
Absolutely. I love sharing the planet with all of you guys out there listening, Kaylee, you and everybody. I'm just curious to see why we all are here in 2022 and beyond. And I get very curious when I meet someone, like, are they in my life for what reasons? And we really won't know
Yeah.
the full answer to that until we're no longer here. Because what if you met someone 10 years ago and then they return in your life 10 years from now or 30 years from now? I just that's probably my favorite part of social media is the ability to easily connect with people, down the road, whether it be tomorrow or 10 years from now. Like I feel like I at least have a chance like I
Yeah.
connect with everyone that I have even a little significant interaction with. Like if am in line at a coffee shop and I just start talking with someone, or we just start, like I'll see if they have an Instagram and we'll just connect, just who knows like
Yeah.
what we might connect on.
I love that. That's so true. And like, look at you and I. It's been 2 years and here we are. So it shows you the beauty of social media. Because of course, social media definitely has its downfalls. We're not going to take away from that, but it has such great capabilities as well, like to keep in touch with those people. Especially like I've traveled a lot in my life, and I don't think I would still be in touch with half of those people if I didn't have social media. So it's really great for those purposes. Like, even on some of these episodes, I reconnected with people I had not spoken to in like probably 10 years. Like, I met them in Australia, they're from the UK or they're wherever. And we jumped on and had an episode. It was just like no time had passed, and it was amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. No, I appreciate being on this planet and with all the beautiful souls. Like I'm excited to be co-creating with you all out there for sure.
Yeah. And like the work you do is so amazing, and what you put out there. Like, I just love what you stand for, because we need more of that in our world. There's so much consumption in other ways that it just, I know for me anyway, it does not serve my highest good. And when I find souls like you that put out the same kind of frequency that I'm trying to get at, it's just really nice. And I, a big thing I want to do with this podcast is help people not feel alone in no matter what they're going through. And when you meet people who resonate with you, that shows you you're not alone. Like, we can all connect in some way.
Absolutely, we're all expressions of the divine. Like nobody is any better or worse. Like we're just all
Yeah.
expressing our divinity, through different like physical vessels and in the ways that we choose. But when we're being those frequencies of you know peace or anything that feels better than that, like that's when we really are expressing our divinity. And you can connect with anyone so easily when two people are choosing to express their divinity. It's just like you're looking at someone through the eyes of the divine, and it's like, to me, it doesn't. I connect with people so quickly because
Yeah.
I'm connecting with them from this place, and
Yeah.
it's really fun to know that, because you don't have. You can travel anywhere in the world. Like I can go anywhere in the world, whether I'm by myself or with other people. Most of the time, I solo travel, and just all of
Yeah.
a sudden, like I'm integrate it into the community. Like if the place I'm going has a gym, which I won't go there if there's no like gym in the place. Like
Yep.
I may go quickly, but it won't be a long stay. Because and then also I love being. I mean, this isn't like mandatory, but it helps if they have a beach that I can run on. Like this is. If
I
there's one
feel
place
you.
that has a beach and one place that doesn't, like I'm gonna go first to the one that does.
Same here.
And then from there, it's like I, even if I don't speak the language, like I'll try. My first question to a lot of people here in Mexico, and I say with a big smile on my face, is, "You speak a little English?" And we just see from there. And they a lot of times say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, a little," and I'm like a little Spanish, so we'll communicate as much as we need to.
Absolutely. I wanted to jump back too and ask you, like, before you got into your journey of where you're at now, like, was there any like impactful moments that you knew you were like, okay, I need, like, we were talking about the fork in the road, which direction do you choose? Was there anything like really big that rocked you into this place? Or was it just kind of like a succession of little things where you're like, I can't operate like this anymore and I need to go this way?
Well, so my whole life, like from literally 2 years old on, I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player. And like I was really accelerated for my age because I was like, I took it serious like from a really young age. Like I wasn't just like out there to have just a good time. Like I was practicing to be pro in my mind at that age. And I was playing in college and I had an injury. I tore my shoulder at 21, had to have surgery, and was never the same after that physically as far as baseball related. And I did my best to keep playing. Like, I didn't want to have any regrets. So 22, 23, I played a little bit in Canada, a little bit in, and I want to say a little bit, like a really short amount of time because I just wasn't able to perform. And
Yeah.
then by 23, I knew that that dream was coming to an end. And it was a really rough time because my whole
Mm.
identity, everything that I thought I was going to be doing, my lifestyle, I was like, I'm going to be a professional athlete. So I'm going to be rich and famous. Like it's just going to be, that's going to
Yeah.
be my life. So that's when the really I'll be happy when syndrome kicked in, where it's just like I moved to LA to be an actor because I'm like, if I'm not going to be an athlete, the only thing I can do to be on par with that is a movie star.
Yeah.
And it just, so it's really challenging until, 26, when it was just like, I'm tired of doing all the stuff that I'm doing. And just like, I don't like going to work the valet parking jobs that I was doing in Malibu, parking people's cars that I thought I would be driving for myself at that time. And
Hmm.
then I would just open like for literally anybody could have come with an opportunity and that sounded good, and I would have been like open to it. And so that's when I started my entrepreneurial journey and got into network marketing, and that's
Hmm.
really where my personal growth journey began because I wasn't reading like anything before that, and I
Yeah.
had someone in that first company start suggesting books to me, and
Hmm.
they were successful like as far as in my eyes, and like, I wanted to be successful as well. So that was really starting my personal growth journey because I just wasn't happy. Like something had to change. It was like, okay, like I need
Yeah.
whatever direction I'm going to go in, I need to go in because I can't just keep doing this. Like I'm not built for like any other adult to tell me what to do, what time to show up. Like I'm
Yes.
not built for this. Like, I personally haven't had an adult say, Noel or anyone, Noel, you have to do this. Like in these words, like, you have to be here at this time. In almost a decade. Like that has been
Nice.
since February 2013. So yeah, so it just I'm grateful that that openness, that you can, as long as we stay open, like what is meant for us, what will serve us will show up in divine timing, not our timing, in
Absolutely.
divine timing when we're ready.
Oh, 100%. Divine timing is literally everything. And it's in the human experience, I find myself included. You get impatient. You're like, I want it now. I want this now. And it's like the universe is like, no, no, no. You need to learn this, this, and this. And then you'll be presented with what you want or what's truly in alignment with your highest good. So I really like hearing that story because it shows that you went through a complete life change. And it's almost like when, you got your injury and stuff, you had to mourn the death of that vision or that career that you thought you were going to have. And it's just so interesting to me that the path that you took to get to where you're at now. And I just love that you're following what you want. And I love that you don't have to answer to anyone. That's like my dream too. I'm like, I don't want to answer to someone. That's not for me. Like I want to make my own schedule, my own morning routine and do it for me. So I love hearing that story. That's super inspiring.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's always a journey. Like I invite everybody that has, if you're listening to Kaylee's podcast, obviously you're on your personal growth journey. Like you're growing on purpose. Like it matters to you. So like kudos to everybody out there that, I mean, just everybody, period. But if you're, I resonate with you, especially if you are growing on purpose and you realize like it's a forever thing. Like ever since
Mm.
26, when I started my personal growth journey, I can say that from 26 to 27, I was like, wow, I've grown so much. And from 27 to 28, from 28 to 29, like every year, like from 39, where I am now, to 38, I'm like, wow, I've evolved so much. Like there'll never be a year where you're not like, oh my gosh, like I've evolved so much. And so it's just fun
Yeah.
because even right now, you might be out there coaching, teaching, you might be doing like, you'll still a year from now be like, oh my gosh, like I've evolved so much. And it's really fun to know that because we can just be present to where we are, use the consciousness that we have currently, do the best that we can, and really decide, how much does your energy in this present moment, how much does it matter to you? And like for me, life is really that simple. Like I don't have to think about
Mm.
all this other stuff if I care about what my frequency is, and all this other stuff will just respond to that.
Yes. Oh, and again, it's like you're saying, it always comes back to what's within all the external stuff. It's always going to be there. It's how we show up. That's what's going to make our lives come into true alignment. So I love that you said that. Um, I know manifesting in abundance, big part of what you do. Do you have any manifestation tips or abundance mindset tips that you'd like to share?
For sure. I would sound like a broken record, but this is my favorite quote, and I feel like this download just came to me a few years ago. But it's just find peace, and everything that we desire will find us. Find peace,
Mm.
everything that we desire will find us, because you become a magnet to it. Like really, the process of manifestation, like everything that we see in the physical, started as a thought in someone's mind, and so we get to ask ourselves, because in order to manifest something, like we have to be an energy match to it. Like you'll have to be a vibrational match to it to bring it forth, because right now it's just in the energy world as thoughts. So if you want to bring it into tangible, like you have to start the journey. But you can't, you're not going to create anything if the whole time you're like, oh, I can't create this, like I can't do this, like it's not going to work. So the reason why peace is so important is because if you already had, for instance, say you want a relationship out there, so if you already had the relationship that you desire right now, would you be worried that if the relationship is going to come to you or not? That'd be strange. Like you already have it right now, so why would you be worried about if it's going to come to you or not? Like you already have it in your possession. And so that's really the key, is if that's how I would feel if I already had it in my possession, can I feel that way now without seeing it in the tangible? And if you start living as if it's already here in the tangible, which the easiest way to do that is just be at peace about it, because you know
Mm.
the process of manifestation is happening behind the scenes, and you're magnetizing it, you're attracting it to yourself, then it has to manifest. Like there's no way that you can live in a vibrational state of whatever it is that you desire, like actually live consistently in that state, and for whatever that is to not take shape. And for those of you guys that want to
Yes.
manifest a business or financial goal or some level of freedom or whatever it is, again, like how would you feel if you had that now? And if you start living
Mm.
that way, which is like find peace and it'll find you, what a lot of times will find you, say you want to manifest like a business goal or financial goal. A lot of times what will manifest in response to that peace that you're living in is a really great idea. And anytime you
Yeah.
manifest a really good idea, because thoughts are manifestations too. Like every thought is a
Mhm.
manifestation, and it's a manifestation that is in response to your energy. None of us have ever had a happy thought and our energy would be vibrating in an angry energy. You have angry thoughts. You speak angry
Yeah.
words and you take angry actions, and your life will produce more results that are matched to this angry energy that you're in. Same thing with all the frequencies that we talk about. So literally,
Mm.
if you are receiving these manifestations of thought, and I always love to know, okay, and if you're practicing peace and feel anything that feels better than that, and I'm getting a thought in my mind, I can trust that that thought is dropping straight into my mind from the divine, because I'm in
Mm.
alignment. I'm in a frequency where I can hear like what's being shared. But there's always
Yeah.
information that's flowing that we can tune into, but we can't hear it if we're in an angry energy. We can only hear angry thoughts. So you're
Preach.
channeling that from the angry vibration. It's like you're on the angry radio station. You're not going to hear happy songs
Yeah.
from the angry
Yeah.
radio station. You just hear angry songs. So it's just up to you where you want to channel from, where you want to receive energy from. And then if you receive it and you know you're in peace, you know you're happy, you know you're excited, don't second guess it, because that
Mm.
second guess, oh, is this really going to work? Like, can this work for me? Now that's a totally different vibration. So now you're
Yeah.
receiving other thoughts to that vibration. You just switch the channel to the worry channel. So now
Yes.
go back to the peace channel and the happy channel, and then you can tune back in to what you were just receiving. And now the question is, what can I do with what I have from where I am? Because we can only act from where we are now. And the only way that you can receive the manifestation, action puts us in the energy to receive. And so receive the thought, the idea. Now, what can I do with what I have from where I am? And
Mhm.
do as much as you can while you're in that energy where it's like, ooh, I'm inspired, I'm inspired, I'm inspired, inspired action. Now I'm tired. Do I really want to put another hour into this? Personally, I prefer to put it down, and
Yes.
because I'm mindful of my energy. I'm not one of those that's going to tell you like, now there's been days where I've worked, many hours where it's like I've woke up, I've worked many hours and it's left. These are small periods of my life to create things, but I was inspired because for me, if I know that it's going to take me, just as personal, if I know it's going to take me 100 hours to do something, I just might like to do it in 7 days, 13 hours a day for 7 days versus you know 4 hours a day for 25 days. Like, I just prefer to get it
Right.
done.
Yeah.
I can go back to playing and enjoying the beach and doing all the stuff that I like to do. You do what you want to do, but I only will like really take action from this inspired place. And
Yeah.
it's really just about trusting where these thoughts are coming from and then putting them into place. And the more that you focus on whatever you're wanting to manifest from that inspired place, the faster you'll see these results and the tangible things that you want in your life. But really, it all
Mhm.
starts with like, what's your vibration? That's first cause of everything. Like, what's your energy? Find
Yes.
peace. Everything you desire will find you.
Yeah.
That's
Baseline
best
piece.
tip I can give. Yeah, for
I
sure.
love that. You Photoshop your head on some photos. There's some manifestation in your morning routine.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I like that you described it like switching the radio channel. That clicked in my brain big time because I'm like, that's so true, Even myself, if I'm in my feelings or feeling a certain type of way that's maybe not so positive, you do attract kind of that kind of stuff. So love that you said it like that.
I love it. I love it.
All
Yeah,
the
it's
wisdom.
it's fun. The energy of like empowerment, where you have an intention to empower another human being, and that's all like this podcast is just the desire to just empower each other.
Mm.
It's fun what can flow out from there, for sure.
Absolutely. I love that. Let's talk about universal abundance. We got all the good, awesome wisdom shared, but let's talk about your awesome community that you've built.
Yeah. So I asked the universe a few years ago, how can I make the greatest impact on humanity? Because just the questions that we ask will always receive these answers. And how can I make the most awesome impact and then just have a blast and all of the things that are in my slideshow? How can I live all that out? And the freedom that I get excited for, like for those that also want to live in this for them, magnetizing them so that we can just create this awesome planet together. And so what came initially as the reply to how can I make the greatest impact was just start collaborating, start building community. And because you guys are hearing a lot as far as like my life experience, my perspective, like the language that I use is like, this is just channeled through my life experiences, but I find so much value in all the life experiences of other people as well.
Hmm.
And five people can be talking about manifestation, but it might be the third or the fourth person that really resonates with you and allows the
Yeah.
light bulb to go off for you. So when I started collaborating, I just collaborated with hundreds and hundreds of people. Kaylee was one of these collaborations a few years ago. And what I wanted to do was create a community where people can learn in all the ways that we know that we can learn right now, whether it be online, through videos and through live workshops and all this stuff. And then, in my opinion, the most impactful way to really learn and grow is in person, like in-person events, like retreats. Like if you've ever
Mm.
been to a retreat out there where you've gotten away from your home for a few days and like you're completely immersed in an environment with other people that are there to grow as well. um, like what can happen for you, the light bulbs that can go off are amazing. So that's what universal abundance is it's a combination of both online and offline personal growth, all areas of life that matter. Anything that you hear from me on there, because I've shared a lot, we're going to be, energy is going to be foundational. So all the stuff that I'm sharing today, like just taking it further with different examples, with different people and collaborations until like it like your name and start vibrating in that energy like regularly. And then from there, like the consciousness for me, that's just one part of the equation, because like abundance really means to me an overflow of everything that matters to us, more than enough. So
Mm.
like even if you have all the money in the world but you don't have the time to enjoy it, that to me there's a lack of time. Like I'm about abundance of everything that matters to us,
Yeah.
relationships, all of it. And so I asked the universe, well, how can we help these conscious, beautiful souls? Because like while I'm here on this planet, like I'm really curious to see how much of the population we can get to the point where what matters to us most is our frequency, like we've been talking about on this episode. So maybe you're
Yeah.
hearing this episode and now it's starting to matter more to you. And then as you start seeing examples in your life of why it's important for it to matter to you, because you start observing how your life responds to your energy, then you'll become one of these in the population where your energy matters to you most. So now we've added another person to the 8 billion. So I'm just curious, like how many of the 8 billion we can, because the more that we have, imagine everywhere that you travel, everybody cares about their energy most. Like we're just
Yeah.
loving each other, enjoying life with each other. So that's like the
Right.
dominant intent. But then I also want all of these conscious souls to have an overflow of abundance. I want you to have all the time in the world, all the money in the world, all the relationships, so that if you're someone out there that wants to help kids or animals or the environment or travel the world and just spread love everywhere you are, whatever it is that you desire, I want you to have an overflow of abundance to do it so that you can live your full life experience. And then as a result, all of us get to enjoy your creations more. You'll magnetize to yourself the other humans on the planet that also want to create change in these areas and create with you. And like we can just create this beautiful planet together. And so I asked the universe, how can we help people with the abundance element? And so we take all this value that we're creating, because if you can help someone with their health or their relationships or be happier or whatever, like if you can help someone have energy become most important to them, that's priceless. Like for any of us, that's
Yeah.
priceless. Like you can't
Oh
put a
yeah.
price tag on that. And so if you can help someone in a priceless way, then my question in the universe is, well, how can we help create abundance from this priceless value? Because now we have we have an abundance of value. So how do we turn that into an abundance of time for you, an abundance of money for you, and all of that? And so that's really what universal abundance is doing. It's helping with both those elements, and then we monetize in a very creative way where we don't give any money to Facebook and Google or anywhere else. Like all the money that comes into the community goes back out into the community, so that
Mm.
someone can have all the time and all the money in the world to create whatever life they want to create, and do it in community with lots of awesome people around the world. So we're almost
Yeah.
3 years old now, and like at the time of this recording, we're in August. Like we're in a stage where we're building momentum towards the next global retreat, which will happen either late 2022 or early 2023. We're figuring out exactly what part of the world like feels the most free. I think we're going to do it in Mexico,
Yeah.
all inclusive resort with awesome souls from all over. So yeah, if you guys want to participate or know more about it, just go onto my Instagram, and then the link there, you guys can see everything that we're doing with Universal Abundance. But if I can help with anything
Yeah.
or questions, like, I'm happy to. Like this is for humanity. Like to me, I don't do anything out of like obligation or because I feel like I'm like mandated. I'm not a good human if I don't. Like for me, it's like what would be the most fun planet to live on. And for me, it's a planet where all the humans are
Yes.
like loving each other and like enjoying life together and like because I already live this way. Like you can choose to live this way now. Like we don't need the rest of the population to choose to vibrate in any way for you to choose. Like we get to control our own vibration. So this is like
Yeah.
the life that I'm living anyway, where I'm just magnetizing beautiful souls that care about their personal growth, that care about their energy even more after they meet me because they do talk like this.
Yeah.
And we can just enjoy life together. So
Wouldn't that be awesome? And I like that. And that's like some people are like, oh, well, that'll never happen. I'm like, no, it's in your control. What you put out there can have that ripple effect on others because you're going to, like you said, everything we've said today, you'll attract those souls to you and you'll have like this beautiful love and light army that's just like, let's do this. We'll get your socials and website. Let's plug that in because if anyone's resonating, do check out Universal Abundance. It's amazing. Like when he says all over the world, there's literally so many people in this community, all different walks of life, and it's amazing, and it's literally all people that are looking for their personal growth, that are vibrating at the frequency that serves them. So let's get your website and your socials and we'll plug those in for people.
yeah, so definitely connect with me on Instagram at the Angel of Abundance, the Angel of Abundance, and then it's join.universalabundance.co, just .co, join.universalabundance.co, and there's a free library there of some of the content that's inside and all sorts of stuff. Like the website's evolving right now, adding some cool stuff to it. So depending on when you hear this and when you see it, there's lots of cool stuff happening right now for sure.
Yeah, and it's very user friendly too. Like it's not, I love user friendly website. I don't like when things are complicated, so it's very simple to navigate, which is check mark for me. So do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with everyone today?
Yeah, just be easy on yourself. Like we can be so hard on ourselves as humans, and I mean, really, what has helped me more than anything is when I realized that, right now I'm in this physical body, and it's called like Noel, and you're in your physical body out there, and you're called whatever you're called. But really, like this, like physical shell is, it's going to stay here once we're done with it. But like our energy, energy can't be created nor destroyed. So for me, it doesn't really matter. Like whatever you believe in out there, personally, it doesn't matter to me what my energy does when it's no longer in this Noel like vessel. But once I really like grasped that I was going to go play somewhere else, maybe in a dimension that I don't even know about, maybe I come back here to Earth and play more. Who knows? To me, it doesn't really matter. I'm enjoying being here and being Noah and just seeing what that all looks like and what that can be. But it's just, we can be so hard on ourselves. And my advice is to give yourself permission. If you have an option to do something that sounds fun right now, that resonates with your soul right now, like what are we putting it off for? Like just do it. Like it's like, for me, I'm such an easy yes, and I invite you to affirm that for yourself. Like I call myself, and this may be, to me, I could maybe choose my words better, but this just came to me and I've been saying, because I like to sometimes use extreme language. Bleep it if it's not like appropriate. But I refer to myself as an energy whore. That's I literally, not only do I care about it, like that's all I care about. Like I'm just like, and so if anything, like I can be present to something and like feel more energy, and like, because even though we use words like bliss, euphoria, ecstasy, nirvana, which are some of the strongest language that we can use to describe energy, what I love to know is that energy can go way beyond that, and we don't even have words for it. It can also go beyond the other way, powerless and depressed, and further where we don't have words to
Yeah.
describe that either. So it's just, what takes us there though is momentum. So if you find yourself with an opportunity to do something that you really are excited to do, give yourself permission as a yes, but then also be so present to whatever that is, because you are the one that said yes. Like you're free, you can choose whatever you want to do. Nobody's forcing you to do it. So you gave the yes. So then I invite you to ask yourself how present you can be, and then you have this energetic dance with the activity, and that's the only way you can reach these really high frequencies where you start off excited, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun, and then you're like passionately, like joyfully doing something, and then like you're at bliss, and then it's beyond bliss, and it's like, whoa, how much better can life get? And so
Yeah.
that is unlimited. So yeah, just be easy on yourself. Just know that the worst thing that can happen is that you leave this physical body, but then you're just gonna go play somewhere else, and you know,
Yeah. It like really puts life back in perspective because we get so worked up about the littlest things. And it's like, I like that you keep saying, is it life or death? And I'm like, I need to even say that to myself sometimes because really, like we create so much drama and sometimes it's not necessary. So, and I also love the energy whore saying, I love energy so much. And like when it's hype, I feel like I suck that up. I'm like, let's go. Like if I'm at like a concert or a sporting event, I'm like, I'm hype. I'm here for it because you feel all that energy and it's amazing. So I love that you call yourself
for
that.
sure. I give myself full permission to feel even more energy. And in fact, I set the intention with like, especially like if I'll just be candid with you, like
Yeah.
if I have like an intimate partner,
Hmm.
every time I spend time with them, and regardless of what life experience, where life goes, I always set the intention with them that we're going to experience frequency together beyond what we've experienced before. This is so important. Like if you do this
Yeah.
and then release it, like don't think about how it's going to happen, but just get back to being present and having this energetic dance like with them. What's cool about life is, say I spent time with this person a week ago or 5 days ago or whatever, they've lived a week of life and so have I, where we've had all these life experiences that has evolved us as a human, like things that we love, things that weren't so pleasant, but every life experience evolves us. It clarifies like what our desires
Mm.
are, and our consciousness expands as a result of every life experience we have. So now I've returned, and this is so important even for your relationship. Say you live, say you're married and you say you live with your significant other. You've left during the day and gone to do whatever it is that you've gone to do. All these life experience has evolved you, has clarified your desires, like you've evolved consciously. And so if you set the intention when you return that we're going to experience energy frequency that we haven't experienced before, like we're going to go beyond, and then you release it, and then you get to being present, you'll go beyond. Like it's literally your intentions will continue to happen, and you can have some really magical experiences no matter what you're choosing to do. So, yeah,
Absolutely. Oh my
that's what it
God.
means to be an
Yes.
energy whore. Like to really want to, like, I love where I've been, and I want more. Like
I
I
love
want to go
that.
further.
I love where I've been and I want more. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Oh my God, this was so good and insightful. Like, thank you so much for taking time to connect with me today. It really, really means a lot. And I know the listeners are going to love this episode because, like, the whole time we've been speaking, I've been feeling it deep in my soul. So, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me, and thank you everybody out there for listening. And definitely share this with anybody that you're resonating with, or that you resonate to share this with, and share all of Kaylee's episodes because she's awesome. And it's just, when she's connecting in this energy that she brings, like she's gonna always bring the highest frequencies out of whoever it is that she's communicating with, and you can expect some really awesome light bulb moments when you're ready to receive from that place. So thank you, Kaylee, for what you do, and for having me as a part of it. And to be continued is how I like to leave lots of
Yes.
experiences with people. Like I always want people to know that I don't take the experience for granted, because again, there's 8 billion of us, and for us to be, I mean, look at this, we're communicating on like this little platform, like I have a screen in front of me, and like we're thousands of miles away, and like it's just, we live in such a cool time. So I don't
Yeah.
take any of these now moments for granted, and I appreciate them, and always leave open the possibility for more. And it's, as I'm saying, it's 111 where I am.
Oh my
So,
God, magic. Magic. I love it so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, this has been so amazing. So, for everyone listening, at the Angel of Abundance on IG, but I'm going to have everything linked. There will be no problem finding Noel. If you've resonated with him today and you want to check out Universal Abundance, I highly recommend it. It's just, if you like what we're speaking on, it's all of that times a million. Like, there's so many more cool people that you can learn from, connect with, and it's just incredible. So, we're going to call that tea time for today, everybody. I thank you for integrating your beautiful energy into this podcast. It really means a lot. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening via audio podcast world, give us a rating. And I just wish you love and light as always. And we will see you next time.